Good day. How's it going?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon.
day.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm doing great, doing excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So, today we have uh, quite a bit of information to go through. Um, so before we do that, I want to hear any updates, any progress, and any problems before we go into today's lesson. All right. What's going on with you all out there? Any
Well,
questions? Any problems?
yeah, this is Dawn Hardwick.
Mhm.
How are you,
Great.
Dr. Hatchett? So I ran into the problem where, and I should have known better being a consultant, trying to gather all the information you gave me in the beginning. I wind up making my nonprofit a domestic profit. So when you guys went to go do all the paperwork and you did the grants for me, and I was so excited. When I called IRS trying to figure out what was the issue, they let me know that um, it's being sent to another department. It's another 120 days. So I talked to Mr. Mark and we went back and forth. And so what I did was I went back and did amendment right then and there on the organization as a nonprofit. That was an error on my part. I didn't know what I was doing. I messed that up. But anyway, I wound up paying. So I wound up paying another fee for the 501(c). So we sent that off. So now we're just waiting 2 or 3 weeks to see where that's going to go. If
Okay.
not, if that doesn't pan out, then I'm gonna have to start all over again.
Right.
But nevertheless, we make mistakes. So I'm kind of, wasn't nothing that you guys did. It was just I just kind of like went ahead of myself ahead of time, and I thought I hit nonprofit. So when I looked at the certificate formation, I was like, OMG. So I'm a little behind the eight ball, but I'm still moving. We're still doing things. The software, we're going to do some nonprofit stuff on the software you have now. So we're still moving, me and Diane.
All right. All right. I say it all the time, like these things come easy out of my mouth. And sometimes I might not emphasize it enough. I need to do better at screaming it with a bullhorn. But it must be done exactly the way that I say. It has to be. And that's not because I'm a control freak. It's just because I
Absolutely.
know that it's really easy to make simple mistakes, honest, simple mistakes, and it end up costing money and time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep, yep. So I'm glad that you did not lose heart. Keep moving forward
Oh
because
no,
yeah.
no, you give us too much information to lose heart. I thank God for you because I still see the vision. I believe we're going to impact communities and new entrepreneurs, and I'm excited. So I'm just
Mhm.
holding on and trusting God that everything's going to go through in a timely fashion and everything's going to be back on track.
All
And you
Okay.
have
right.
a great team
God,
as
praise
well.
God.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. They're awesome. They are awesome. All right.
Yes,
Other
absolutely.
problems in progress. Any progress you want to share? Any problems you need help with?
This is
Well,
Karen.
okay.
All right.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I do have, thank you for the assist, but I still need help with the budget. Trying to
Mhm.
understand, like you have the top part, excuse me, your in kind and all of that, and then
Mhm.
where the expenses at the bottom portion of it.
Mhm.
So how do you determine salaries, like you're trying to add salaries to it, how to
Mhm.
make it work? Um, the in kind, because it's heavy up top, but the
Mhm.
expenses has one different amount. I'm not sure if you remember my paper. I'm just confused with that. Just
That's all
confused.
right. Do you have it in a Google Doc, a Google
I
sheet?
do. I do.
Uh, Put the link in and I'll open it up. Just put the link in and I'll use it as an example today. All right.
Oh Lord. Okay.
It's all right. The thing is, most of the problems are the same. As people learn it, there are certain places that people get caught up on anyway. You know what I mean? And so when I fix it for you, it's actually helpful to everybody because
Hmm.
they'll be able to see as well. Um, and budgets come easy to me because I've been doing them for so long. Um, but numbers are just not easy to some people, especially when you're dealing with imaginary numbers with money that you don't have for something you haven't done before. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's all imaginary, technically speaking. But in the grant world, you write the vision and make it plain, and that they may fund it. That's what you do.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. And I don't know, Tanya, the message that now you and I, Tanya, you and I had messaged earlier on email. I couldn't tell from your response if you were saying yes, we could talk about it, or no, don't talk about it. Yeah.
So the grant, doing it in real time today, we can't because there's documents that I need from the alderman to upload into the grant. So
Hmm.
it would it would not be a complete grant thing. So most of that stuff in there, when I went through everything besides the program and the budget piece, is documents that the alderman needs to give me for the property.
Can you
The
tell them, are you able to tell them the good news so far or not yet?
Oh yeah, we can talk about the good news.
All right, go ahead and tell them.
So you know, I'm just gonna put it out there. Like God is working really fast. And I'm just trying to hold on. So I saw Coach last week. Myself and Carlos went there and we were talking about, we wanted to get a spot that the city owned for $1. Well, when we came back, before we could say anything to the alderman was like, I have a lot that I'm gonna give you all, and you all can do whatever you want to do with it. So now it was like he gave us the link to the application on the city website, was like, go ahead and fill this out now so that we can get them, so that you all can get the money. The state representative, the money flows through the state representative. They was like, go ahead and meet with him, stay on his good side because the money is going to flow through him. So Carlos went and spoke with him yesterday, which we have spoken with him before, but we was on his coattail yesterday. And so we're going to get a lot. It's actually two lots, two parcels. They have two different PIN numbers in the city of Chicago. In one of the low income communities that we serve, we're actually going to have Christmas in July in this community as well, July 27th. They're going to give us the property and we're going to build. It's going to be a whole new construction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
they are funding 75% of the construction. And so Carlos was like, where are we going to get the other 20? Look, I got that
Oh,
part.
that's easy.
That's the easy part.
That's easy. That's
That's the
easy.
easy part, which now I
Yeah.
have to change my budget to
Hmm.
reflect the new construction
That's
from
right.
what I sent you out last night. So I actually have to revise that.
Yep.
So the
That's right.
budget, instead of it being 200,000, gonna look more like $2 million.
That's exactly right. And to adjust the budget, make sure that you have that as a board meeting, even if it's just you, Carlos, and one other person. You have it as a board meeting and you document it so that now it becomes legitimate. It is your official budget for the future, for the next year.
Okay, we have a
Yep.
meeting on the 10th of February, and the alderman is actually supposed to be at this planning session.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I remember when you when you told me about the land, you number one said you wanted the property, and then you said, well, I'm gonna just offer $1 for it.
Absolutely, and came back and they like, here you go.
See,
Mhm.
I know people, I'm telling I know people don't believe me. And it's weird because I'm not a convincing type person. Like I'm not a salesman, you know what I mean? Like you need to believe me, you need to believe me. I just say it because I know it's true. And then it's kind of like take it or leave it. And I want y'all to take it. Like, really. Number one, I know what I'm talking about. And it's what I live every day. Tanya and Carlos, they were able to come to Asheville and see in person in real life the things. I hope I didn't wear y'all out.
No, we weren't ready to go. We was like, should we stay another day? But we know you had the funeral the next day.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. And but all of this stuff works together. The partner meeting, the emails, even the small grants, all of it works together. All of it counts. It really, really does. All right. So congratulations, Tanya.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Karen, this budget is inside of a Google Doc. And I want you to do your budgets on Excel spreadsheets. You don't do them in documents or Word. Do them in Google Sheets or Excel. All right.
I know
So,
what I didn't add was the 147, the money for the building construction that we got. I didn't put that in here.
mhm. We're
So,
gonna
okay,
redo this.
okay.
So, are you able to take and put this in a Google Sheets? Do you know how?
Yes and no. No, what, wait a minute, let me try it. Let me try it.
You won't be able to just copy and paste it in there. You'll have to copy each line.
Oh no, then I have to copy each
So,
line. Okay, gotcha.
all right, then let me see. What's the quickest way for me to do this? I'm going to download this and do it. I'm going to do this the long division way this time. And this is just to show. All right. While I'm setting this up, I can take another question. Anybody?
I
Any
do.
progress or problems? Yes.
I don't know if it's a problem or just a small issue.
Uh-huh.
Um, I haven't gotten my letter from the IRS yet or the email. I know the process normally takes 3 weeks or so, and then there's a backup that we talked about on that last call.
Mhm.
But I think we're going into the 7th week now with
Oh,
that. And I
yeah,
don't know
you
what
need to
email.
call them.
Okay.
Call them. Do you have the number?
Yeah, I've got the number. I spoke to a gentleman there and he just said that they're backed up. So I don't know if I should call again or if I should just practice patience.
Let's take a look at the date.
Okay.
All right, they're on January 21st right now. When did you send?
Oh, I did it with Mark, I think in oh shucks. I thought it was at the end of November.
November 29th. We all did ours.
Oh, yeah, it should have been assigned to somebody by now. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely call back.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
I have a question too about the software too.
Yes.
So Dr. Hatcher, you said on the software, the software you have now, we can actually help other nonprofits, get grants and apply for grants and software we have now. Because you said
Yeah.
the following year you might have it, so it's just going to be just for that specific company. Do we get to
Yes,
keep ours? Ours doesn't change, right?
that's correct.
Oh,
All of
wonderful,
you that
wonderful.
have it, so long as you maintain, um,
The money payment.
uh-huh, it'll stay the same. If you kind of like a concert, if you go out and come back in, it won't be there.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I just want to know that.
Uh-huh. But yeah.
Thank you. Mhm.
All right. So let's see. Other questions?
I do. Just to piggyback off of Don, I know you said for those who come back out, I'm just joining, so I'm not sure kind of where we are. But what about those who just kind of paid on out for the whole thing? Does that stay
You
the
paid
same?
for the whole thing?
It's for the whole software,
It'll
yes.
be, yeah. Anybody that's already in, you'll have that. You'll have your version of it for whatever time you paid for it.
Okay.
Um, the new pricing will only be for new people. They'll
Okay.
actually be paying it, even though it'll look the same, they're coming in a whole different door. It's just something that the developers worked out.
Okay.
So none of your stuff will change. But and for you, you already paid for the whole thing, so it's cool. Yeah, it won't change. You'll still be able to have the whole thing and other files, and you can write for as many people as you want.
Okay.
Let me see this organizational budget. But what I really want to do, Mark, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to show my whole screen, my whole computer screen, not just the document. I'm going between documents. How do I do that?
You need to stop sharing the screen, sir, and then reshare your screen, sir.
Oh, so I need to share my whole desktop.
Yes, sir.
Lord, I got so much on my desktop. Let me make sure. All right. I was actually on my computer during the training, and I showed like my some way information I wasn't supposed to share. And I didn't know it. I think Tanya or somebody had to tell me, Coach, I don't think you meant to show that. All right, but can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take Facts of Life community-based programs, and we're going to move this into a proper budget. And as I go through this, you all can ask questions as it pertains to yours. You can ask me why I did what I did and all of that. All right. And after we work on this budget, I want to switch total lanes and talk about for-profit grants, because a lot of them are coming up, and they're different, they're smaller, but I want you all to know how to write them.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So whenever you're writing a grant, you go ahead and open an Excel spreadsheet, and you always want to name it. This is your organizational budget, and I need to watch time. I go see, y'all keep me in prayer. I go see the kidney doctor today at 2:00. So when we finish today, then I'm gonna go ahead and get on the road and go see them and see how far we've come. All right. And then your fiscal year, whatever your fiscal year is, it'll be FY something. So this is 2023, and it goes from the year it starts. Okay. So fiscal year 2023 is 23 to 24. Okay.
Dr.
Uh,
Hackett,
yes.
would that be from October 1st through October 1st of that year?
No, it is either July start or January start.
So would it be more considered a calendar year versus a fiscal year then?
Well, in the nonprofit world, we never care about the calendar year, ever.
Okay.
We
Okay.
only care about fiscal year. Now, your fiscal year might be a calendar year, but we never pay attention to calendar year. We're only going by fiscal year. And you'll know
Okay.
your fiscal year because they tell it to you at the top right-hand corner of your nonprofit document.
Okay.
Your 501c3 document at the top right-hand corner, it'll say fiscal year ends, and it'll say either December 31st or June 30th.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And that's important for everybody to know, because when they give you, so for this organization, Facts of Life, they assigned them a fiscal year that ends on June 30th. That also means that the 990 is due 3 months after that. So your fiscal year, knowing your fiscal year is very important. They give it to you. If you ever want to change your fiscal year, you'll have to reach out to the IRS and officially change it, because they'll be looking for your 990 by a certain date. And if they don't receive it, it's considered late or not received. And if it's not received 2 years in a row, then you lose your 501c3 status. All right. Now, your fiscal year is always, it'll be fiscal year 2023. That means 23 to 24. So tell me, if I say fiscal year 2024, what is that?
2025.
Right. That's 24 to 25. If I say fiscal year 25 and you're on a December fiscal year, then what is that?
January 26th.
Right. That's January 2025 to December 2025. We
Okay.
never use calendar year. We always use fiscal year. And you'll know the fiscal year because it's on the top right-hand corner of your 501c3 determination letter. All right. Any questions about that?
Is that where it says effective date?
No, not the effective date. It actually says fiscal year ends. Do you see it? Top right-hand corner.
I just see the date.
Keep looking. Top right-hand corner. There are like 8 lines.
Accounting period ending. Is that what it is?
That's right.
Oh, okay. December 31st.
Right. So that means that your fiscal year ends when?
December 31st.
So your fiscal year goes from what month to what month?
Is it December to December?
No.
Oh,
It's never-
January to January.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Yep. From January to December. Do you get it? Okay. All right. So when you're doing your budget, it doesn't matter what month you're living in. Like right now, we're in the month of January. But if I'm on a July, December fiscal year, it doesn't matter that I'm I'm actually typing the budget in January. I need to do the budget for 12 whole months of activity. Do y'all understand that? Okay. All right. So let's go. Expenses. Hold on. I'm sorry. Revenue. Expenses. Your revenue is made up of grants, sponsorships, donations, in kind. Um, mission related revenue. All right. Grants, sponsorship, donations, in kind, mission related revenue. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Now, this formatting stuff that I did is not required. It's just, it helps me keep things in track. I also do shading. So I'll put the thing right here and do one of these faded out colors. I like to do the revenue in green. I mean, the expenses in green and the revenue in blue. Now, that's a psychological thing. Blue is a color of trust. And what I'm telling them is I want you to trust that I'm going to get this money. Green for expenses. I want them to see the heart behind the fact that we're spending money on the community. All right. So right here, we're just going to move numbers over. So Karen, do you have your document up? Karen? No, ain't this Karen's budget?
It is.
Oh, okay.
All right now, Karen.
It is. I had to go back in, so I was looking for my phone. But yes,
Oh,
I do see it.
okay.
I have it up. And
All right. Are
and
you
I
at
put a
work?
note
You
in.
can't talk right now?
I'm at work, but I need this budget.
Oh, I can do it without you. I
Way to
can
go,
do it
Karen.
without you. Yeah, I can do it without you. Don't bug about it.
Okay. And don't forget the 147. I don't know if you need to add it in there, but the grant that we got for 147.
Y'all received the grant for
147,000 for
right.
building.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
I told you.
When?
I told you.
That's a shame. I knew about the small one. All right. What was the name of that grant?
It came from Food Bank.
140. Oh, okay. And how much?
147, $147,445.22. $445.22.
All right. And what was that for?
Building, to build the building, new facility.
All right. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Now, whenever you have, you can go ahead and put it back on mute. We good. So she has a grant already. So you can put that there. When we estimate our total grants, what does she have over here? Food line, in-kind and grant donation. Coastal Horizons, I think that's a grant. And I think Trillium is a grant. So what we're going to do, I'm going to add this 147,000 to these things that look like grants. And that will be our grant total. All right. So did y'all see what I did there? I put equals and then all the grants that she has gotten. You don't only have to put grants that you have gotten, you can put grants that you hope to get. So if you're expecting also a grant for 50,000, more grants than 50,000, so that's that. Okay. And what you do, come over here and you just list out. This is like a holding place. Y'all see what I did when I put these over here just as a holding place?
Mhm.
All right. And then inside of Excel, well, let's put these other numbers in. Diana, can you speak? Are you able to speak?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to read me these numbers while I put them in
Okay.
from income.
Income.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sponsorships, or it says individual donors, $5,000.
All right. Mm-hmm.
In-kind services, Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. Donation of food and non-perishables, $300,006.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteers, in kind, at 20 volunteers, 232,908.
All right. And that's 20 volunteers.
Yes, it says volunteers and then in parentheses, in kind at 20 volunteers. So then she has 232,908. So I don't know if that's the total of the 20 or is it, yeah, I think that should be the total of the 20.
All right.
So
Oh,
I guess that's that number divided by 20 somewhere. Okay, foundation donations, weekly school power packages,
mhm.
36 weeks, $30,406.
30,406.
406, correct.
Okay. So you see there are two different donations that she referenced. One was up there where it said individual donors, and another was foundation donations, weekly school power packages. You put those together, and all of that totals donations.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So I put this in one line, and you can explain it over here somewhere, just like we did for grants.
Okay.
All right. Just like we did for grants, we're going to do the same thing for that category. What was it?
Foundation donations.
Donations. All right. So we have donations from foundations and donations from donors. And what was the number from the foundation?
The foundation is $30,406.
406. And from the donors was
Wait a
5,000.
minute. Oh, five. I lost it. There's a Food Lion in-kind and grant donation. What did I miss?
No, we put that under grants. I'm talking about
Oh, the
first.
top one, the food bank donation of food and non-perishables, or the individual donations. The individual donations were $5,000.
Oh, okay. So let's call that individual donors. And then we're going to total these up. Now, instead of trying to do any of this math in your head, you want to use formulas as much as you can. And you don't really need a whole bunch of formulas. You want to use auto sum and you want to use equals. So I press the equal sign and then I go click on this thing and whatever this, and then I press enter. Do y'all see that? Anybody need me to show them again?
Yes.
All right. So I want the donations. I want this to add up all the donations for me. So I put the details of the donations right here. I click auto sum. That's the little backwards S right there. So it gave me the total. Well, I don't want to remember this number because I might do it wrong. What I want to do is make sure it's exactly the same. So I go to this box and I press equal. And then I go over here and I click that box and press enter.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Now, sponsorships. Does it look like she has any sponsorships?
It doesn't say sponsorship, but well, it says Coastal Horizons and Trillium. One is $500, the other is $750, and there's another in-kind and grant donation from Food Lion of $2,500.
All right, but we've already counted those here under grants.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
So
Got it.
sponsorships, she's gonna need some sponsorships. So let's say 10,000 in sponsorships. And mission related revenue is when you sell things, whether you're doing a bake sale, a yard sale, or whether you're getting a contract. Let's say that she only does 1,000 in that. Okay. All right. Then what we do, and this is all in Excel. Remember, you really only need the auto sum and the equal sign. You highlight all of these, and then you go up and you click this backward S. Y'all see? Let me show you again. You put your cursor right there, and then you choose these. Whatever is your last box is where the total is going to show up. All right. Y'all got it? So her revenue is $780,515. Now remember, she told us that this volunteer number is throwing it off. That's making it a whole lot more than you expect. But that's okay. We're going to work on it. Then we deal with expenses. Expenses has sections. So you have your personnel, and then your program expenses, and your overhead or admin. Okay. Personnel is made up of executive director. How much is that?
26,300. I can't see the other numbers. It's
Agree.
covered. Okay, thank you. 26,363.40.
Okay. 26,363.40. All right. Benefits and payroll expenses.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that?
$2,018.90.
Okay. And so we get our personnel total. You highlight these boxes. The last box will show you the total. All right.
Okay, let me,
Yes.
Coach Hatch, this is Karen. So I'm listening. Do I need to clarify some? The
Yeah, sure.
volunteers that we have, I did it based off the 32, I think it's $32.14, whatever.
That's correct.
So do I need to bring it down if it's
No.
conflicting? Okay.
No, we're just going to show you how to spend it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever it is, that's just what it is.
Yes, sir.
So if you know you have, actually, so we go up to this volunteer thing. And what was the rate? Tell me again.
It's 32.14, I believe.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The GSA and kind rate. Anytime you have to explain why you did the 3214 is the GSA in-kind rate. And I actually think that's low, but we'll keep it because that's what you have. But you might want to update this based on the 2024 rate.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
will.
So 20 volunteers at $32.14 an hour times how many hours?
32.
Okay.
We're open 7 days a week.
And that's it. That's how you validate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 20 volunteers at $32.14 an hour. This is why is it $32.14 an hour? Diana, while you're here. Why is it $32.14 an hour? Because that is the what?
The in-kind rate.
Yep, the GSA in-kind rate. You have to say the GSA in-kind rate.
GSA in-kind rate. So what does GSA stand for again? I'm sorry.
Lord, I don't even know. I shouldn't say I don't know. But I think it's government standard accounting.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And that's the rate for volunteerism, I imagine. Okay, got it.
And if you ever want to know what it is, just type in Google and say, what is the GSA in-kind rate for whatever you need. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So we have our personnel total. Our revenue total is right here. Our personnel total is right here. All right. So now you see we have these volunteers and all the expenses. We're getting ready to spend the money in our program expenses. Okay. So we'll start with what she has here, and then I'm going to show you how to spend the rest of it on paper. All right, let's go. Well, hold on. Diana might be tired of reading. Janae,
Okay.
you okay, Diana?
Okay, but if somebody else wants to, I was just coughing. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. If you're good, let's just stick with your voice.
Okay, I'm good.
Right.
You want to start with the mileage?
Yes.
Mileage, $347.
All right. Karen, where did you get mileage from? All right.
My director gave me that.
Okay. Typically when you do mileage, the GSA rate has a mileage as well. So, Janae, can you look up the GSA mileage rate for 2024? I think it's like 52.7 cents per mile, but I'm not sure.
1 second.
I think it depends on whether you're using the government rate or the federal rate in New Jersey. In New Jersey, I know right now they're doing 67 cents per mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I got, 67 cents per mile.
All right. And where did you see the 67 cent, Janae?
I Googled gas mileage rate 2024 and it pulled up the IRS.gov.
Okay. All right.
page.
So then the whole country, and this means that all of you can utilize this. So at 67 cents per mile, $347, that's not a whole bunch of mileage. Now it's okay if that's all. I just don't think that's all. You get what I'm saying? $347 divided by 0.67. That means she only driving 517 miles in the whole year. And I think she might be.
Oh, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. Yes, sir.
All right. So then this is how you do it. You do equal, Lord. I don't know. This is not a math class. I just don't want to lose y'all. Whatever the rate is, you do the rate times the mileage per month times 12 months. So let's say she's doing 500 miles per month times 12 months. Y'all see that?
Yes.
67 cents per mile times 500 miles times 12 months.
There you go.
All right. So here I write the explanation. 67 cents per mile. Diana, tell me the rest of what I said.
67 cents per mile times 500 miles per month times 12 months.
All right. Do y'all see how I wrote it? 67 cents a mile times 500 miles per month times 12 months per year. Why did I say 12 months for the year? Why do I have to put that?
Because it's a 12-month budget.
It's a 12-month budget. Right. Okay. Now, for some people, this is boring, but once you have it, you got it, and you can use it over and over and over again, and everything is validated. Y'all see what I'm saying? And whenever you're talking about it, whenever you're speaking about it, like Tanya and them, they were at one of the meetings with me, and we've already raised $147,000 for one of the programs. And I was able to tell the people that there's one line item that's not covered. We already have 147,000, but we need another 40,000 for this line item. How did I know that? Because I already did it on paper. So if you do this one time, you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
It'll be easy to raise money for it. All right. So mileage was one line. Diana, you can go on.
Occupancy, rent, telephone, and electrical service.
All right. Now, I think that is for the program. Rent, telephone,
and electrical.
All right.
$24,540.
Okay. Now, if the rent includes all of that, like say she's renting from herself, then you can just put the 24,
What can I have for lunch?
540 all at one. Okay.
No, I think
But I was
gonna
working with an organization where one volunteer, one donor wanted to pay the phone bill every month. And if I don't have a line for the phone bill, then it's going to be hard for us to track that somebody paid the phone bill. All right. If it's all included, that's fine. But if it's not, then you want to make sure you have something there. So let's assume right here that it's included in the rent. All right. Next line.
Next line is program supplies, $50,000.
Okay. Now, $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, when we do program supplies, the explanation might be very long. If you know the general supplies that you're going to need, then you type it here. If you don't know, then you can leave it blank. But if you know you need 50,000, that's fine. As you build the 50,000, people are going to want to know, where does the 50,000 come from? Are you buying paper, pens, books, laptops, cell phones, et cetera, et cetera? The general rule for supplies is anything that is up to $4,999 is a supply. If it is 5,000 or more, then it's equipment. Anything up to 4,999 is supply. Anything 5,000 and above is equipment. So I need to buy a vibe board for one of our organizations. One of the vibe boards is $4,000. Another one is $6,000. If I buy the 4,000 one, it is categorized as what?
Supplies.
Supply. If I buy the $6,000 one, it's automatically categorized as what?
Equipment.
Equipment. All right. So supplies is anything up to 5,000, 4,999. Okay. What you all are getting here is is like a whole grant accounting class.
Budgeting 101.
Very, very, very important stuff. Very important stuff. So if you need to, go back and listen to this recording so that you can apply all this information. All right. And I'll try to speed up. All right. Next, we have what?
Accounting services, $5,000.
Accounting. Accounting is $5,000. Okay, you put that down here. All right, next is what?
Insurance, $10,000.
Please add in the software, coach, please.
All right. Okay. The software, 197 times 12. All right.
Okay. Marketing, website, recruitment, newsletters, and advertising.
All right.
$7,000.
So any of your marketing for the nonprofit world, we don't call it marketing, we call it outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
How much is that?
$7,730.
Okay. And the explanation might be a certain number of ads, a certain amount of websites, a certain number of newsletters, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna put marketing here just so y'all can know what I'm talking about. But remember, we like to see outreach, not marketing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next is what?
Professional development, $4,500.
$4,500.
4,500.
All right. Professional development can be training for staff and board. There was one grant, the Youth Build grant. They want you to set aside a whole bunch more than this to train the staff and the board. They actually have recommendations for you, but that's just because that grant is so paper intensive. Most grants are not, but federal grants are. All right. Next is what?
Postage, $100. Postage, $100.
Okay. Next.
Food storage equipment, $11,700.
You said 11,000 what?
700.
Okay.
Maintenance, 5,400. Transportation, 2,500.
All right. Where does the
And
transportation come from? What is the transportation for? Karen, are you able to explain? Or you can type it if you can't talk.
can't talk.
All right.
Oh, you
So
said
if your
I think
transportation is that you need to buy a thing, then you put the cost of the truck, the cost of the van in here. If the transportation is
Sorry
gas,
about that.
go ahead.
It is, we do the senior delivery of boxes. So it's gas and the rental of vehicle to help distribute those boxes.
Okay. All right. Now, this was me. It's fine to rent the vehicle if you want, but I would actually put 15,000 in here to just buy a van.
Yes.
If you're raising money, just go ahead and raise the money.
Okay.
There's really, I know it sounds funny, but there's no difference between 2,500 and 15,000. If you need it, you need it. All right. Okay. And then the speaker, facilitator, honorarium.
and on $10,000.
All right. We'll only say facilitator. We won't say speakers.
Facilitator. Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so since you put transportation out as purchasing a van, don't we have to now put in the expense for insurance as well as maintenance for that van?
Yes. Yes, you do.
So do we just add that into the 15,000 or up it and say van purchase, insurance, and maintenance?
You can add it to the insurance, or you can add the line item.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Facilitated groups. Facilitators is $150 an hour, 15,000. Okay. So here we have only a few supplies. And this is the problem I'm gonna show y'all how to fix real quick. So when you realize that you have more revenue and you have not accounted for all of your expenses, you have to think, what did I get money for that I didn't pay for? Like something was in here. I got money for food, but I didn't pay for food. So whatever Food Line gave, let's say 2,500 for food. All right. I got 147,445 for construction. Well, construction might cost more than that. Construction might cost 250.
And payroll?
Payroll up here, you only paid your executive director 26,000, but you actually have a revenue of 780. So you might be able to bump your executive director up to 50.
Can we add a driver now if we're going to have a van to do those deliveries?
Yeah.
part-time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, y'all remember these volunteers? These volunteers that added what, $232,000? That's in-kind volunteer stuff. So that's manpower. Okay. That's part of personnel. So this is where I would put program staff and whatever amount of volunteers I have, that's what I put here. 232,908. How much do I have for volunteers?
232,908.
All right. So do you all see what I've done with the budget? Everything that you get money for, you want to spend it on paper. So these grants, food line, so that paid for food, food bank, that paid for construction, Trillium, that probably paid for supplies, Coastal Horizon, that probably paid for supplies. The donations from the foundation, what was that? 30,000. That was in kind. What was the object? What was the in kind that they gave?
I can't see it.
All right.
Okay, in kind, the
Power
300,000,
packages.
and then the other is the packages, right?
So we spend the money on it right here, but we didn't put it in here. Do you see?
The budget, okay.
So 36 weekly school packages.
Mhm.
And how much was it?
30,000.
Third, what was it? 30,406. What's missing from this detail? We have it on everything else. Let me see. Anybody tell me what's missing from this detail? Foundation donations, weekly school power package, 36 weeks. We don't know how much they are. And we don't know how many schools. So, let's say it's 10 schools. Then we would say 10 schools for 36 weeks at $200 each. Now, tell me why you think this is important.
In case they ask us to explain the expense.
Uh-huh. Not only in case they ask, because there might be one grant. Like, let's say that next year this donor doesn't do this and you have to go and get grant money for it. You want to be able to say, I need this line item covered. What line item? School packages. What you going to do with it? I'm going to do weekly school power packages for 10 schools for 38 weeks at $200 each. You see how clear that is?
Mm-hmm.
So the more information you can put over here, the easier it's going to be to write and to raise money for it. All right. Now, let's put it all together. Total revenue, total expenses, grand total. All right, total revenue is this. Enter. Now, total expenses, what you're going to do is add up personnel. So you click and you do the plus sign. You scroll down, you click, you do the plus sign. Scroll down, you click, and then you press enter. And then you do the equal sign, this one minus this one, boom. And there we go.
Wow.
So now we have a budget.
You made it look simple.
Hey,
Yes,
Doc,
you did.
Doc got that look on his face like, I know I'm bad.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
Wow.
very welcome.
It's
Very
awesome.
welcome.
Mhm.
So this column D here is where you put all of your details.
Mhm.
You might not have all of them right now, but when you get them, this is where you show the breakdown. 20 volunteers at such and such dollars, blah, blah, blah. You always
Can you
want to
open
say
up the sheet so we can see the whole thing?
this one here, the new one.
Yeah.
All right. Like that. All right. So in your column A, you just want your categories. In column B, you want your titles. Column C, you want your dollar amounts. Column D, you want your explanations. Your explanations are going to become part of the grant narrative. And then off to the side in anything G or over, you can have these different kind of worksheets where you just add up things. And that way you're not trying to do any addition in your head. You don't have to do it in your head. Let the computer do it for you. All right. Now, let me see if I can show you one of my completed budget narratives for a federal grant. Actually, hold on. I'm going to upload this. How can I upload it? I need to send this to Karen. How can I send this to Karen?
I added the GSA explanation. It's General Services Administration.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Mark, I'm gonna send this to you and you can send it to Karen. I'm gonna just call it Facts of Life Budget. And let me see if I can. Anybody have any questions before I go on? Oh, I know that was a lot today.
Just to kind of back up a little bit. So you said that once you get the fiscal year, which will be for me the January 2024 through the 25, did you say something comes and you supposed to file or something? What did you say about that piece?
When you do your when you receive your fiscal year, you have to file your taxes. They're not going to send you anything. They just expect you to know. And that document is called the 990. And that document is at irs.gov.
So even though I haven't did anything, I still have to file.
Yep,
Okay.
it's going to be 0. They'll
All right.
ask you like 5 questions, and it's really just saying, did anything change?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So this is a budget narrative that was completed. Do y'all remember the details I said you want to include it in your budget as you go along? This budget narrative, and some of you remember me telling you that federal grant is long, not just because it takes so long to answer the questions, but because of all the attachments. This is one of the attachments. And one of the attachments, which is 11 pages long, is called the budget narrative. So, and this is in a federal, you all don't have to have this level of detail right now, but when you do the budget the way that I've explained, you will be able to answer all of these questions. So this is for staff. They ask for the position, the name. Is it a key staff person? What's their salary rate and the level of effort on this thing, and how much is charged to the award. This award was for 3 years, I think. Might have been 4 years. I don't know. And so that's how the staff time was broken down. You see these explanations. Number one, executive director will oversee the support, the execution of the program, will coordinate with staff, blah, blah, blah. So that's the explanation of the staff. Everything you spend, you have to explain it. When they ask for your fringe, retirement 10%, FICA 7.5, blah, 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 blah. Then when it get down to your program expenses, they ask for the calculation. What we did in that grant, in that budget, was the calculation. Y'all see what I'm saying? So everything, and I remember one grant that I got denied for was because the explanations did not match the budget. So if you start with the budget and you do column D the way that I've explained, you will always have the correct explanations. You almost guaranteed points. Conference travel, who? Here it is. Item to host the culturally aligned peer conference. Calculation, 5 individuals, $300 a ticket, plus $130 a night hotel night, times 3 nights, times 5 people, times 3 years, $10,000. So people say they want $1 million grants. I don't know how much was this grant. This grant was $4 million. And we had a breakdown of every one of these line items. I'm going to go to supplies so you can see. This grant allowed us to pay stipends, $10 per hour for training, 120 classes. With this grant, we would train people that were incarcerated or coming out of treatment. They would get paid to go to class. And the money that they raised from class, we would give them to help start their life over. And this is how we calculated our supplies. Brochure, 18-cent a brochure, 5,000 brochures, $900 a year. 300 manuals, $50 each, $15,000 a year. And I wrote the manuals. That was my manual they were buying. $45 per book for 250 books for 2 years, and that was my book. Tuition and certifications, $1,500 per student, 100 people, and that was a partner that we were paying $279,000. Registration, that was a conference. All right. Contracts, here's supplies. For supplies, $1,300 per laptop for 16 laptops. Smart screen, $3,000 for 2 boards. Instructional supplies, $1,000 a month for 38 months. All right. So you all do not need, y'all won't have 11 pages of explanation for your budget. That's not the level of grants that you're working on right now. But if you do the thing, and if you learn the thing that I'm telling you right now, you will be able to do this for anything. All right. You'll be able to do it for anything. It's like learning to add or subtract or divide. If you learn how to do it for real, you'll be able to do it for anything. Okay. Now, any questions about that before I go? We only have 7 minutes left. There was something I wanted to show you all.
I don't have a question, but I want to say thank you because this was very detailed. I'm very experienced in this. I ran a nonprofit with over 45 grants, and several were federal grants of millions of dollars.
Oh, you're familiar.
I'm very familiar. However, I also know I didn't have to do it all. So I hired a very good comptroller who was a former auditor who did exactly what you did. I just sat and went over it with her, our treasurer, and then I presented it to our board for their approval. But now I see what you did with was the spreadsheet, Excel. So now I've learned how she did it, but she used exactly what you did. And I can say that I never, ever had one bad audit.
Yeah. It
So
works when you
thank
do
you.
it, when you work from the budget backwards. That's why when I teach grants, I teach you start from the end. You start from the end and work backwards. You decide how you want to spend the money, and then you work backward explaining why you want to spend it that way. All right. So I want to go over some for-profit grants. Okay. Mark, can you share with me our link of for-profit grants? Okay. Although I'm only able to listen while at work, this is very detailed, informative, animated. Oh, okay. All right. Tawana, good to hear you. Glad you're here. All right. And we had somebody, they were brand new. For anybody that's brand new, I know it seems like a lot. I know it seems like a lot, but you have this video. You'll be able to come back to it. And I promise as you do it, it will make more and more sense. All right. All
Yes,
right. Brandy
brand
has a
new.
for-profit. Huh?
I'm brand new,
It's all
but
right. Well,
thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And so I'm going to show you all how to do this for your for-profit. All right. So what we just went over was nonprofit. And nonprofit grants are long and they do have higher dollar amounts. They give you a lot more money. For-profit grants are smaller. They have less paperwork. They are more competitive. However, the money is a lot more flexible. And I encourage people, if you already have a for-profit, you can always start a nonprofit as well. And if you have a nonprofit, you can create a for-profit as well. And these two, they're not like Siamese twins. They're not joined at the hip, but they're cousins. They're brothers and sisters. They know each other. They have the same parent, and there are times that they can work together. They have totally separate bank accounts, totally separate everything. And if you work for one of them, you can also work for the other, but you're not working for them at the same time. You're not duplicating work. You're not double dipping. You get what I'm saying? What you're doing your outreach work for the nonprofit and you're doing your for-profit work for the for-profit. And so we compiled a list. I think it was about, I don't know, I think it's about 200 now. One of the staff people, can you share with me our list of for-profit grants? And I'm going to go over some right now. When you're working on a for-profit grant, the thing that you want to pay close attention to is how you set yourself apart from every other person that's applying. The for-profit grant is going to require that you talk about yourself. You want to talk about your challenges, your journey. You want to talk about your dreams. All right. Most of the time, the for-profit grant will ask for a lot of demographic data. They'll ask for your financial information about your company. But when it comes down to the writing, they're going to ask you to write about a paragraph about yourself. And when you write that paragraph, you want the first sentence about that paragraph to be captivating enough that will make them want to read the rest of it. You want to give them a sense of who you are as a person, and you want to talk about any challenges, anything you've overcome. So Brother Clark, he had told us that at one time in the past, he helped tear down the neighborhood. And at this stage of his life, he's back to help rebuild the neighborhood. And there's a specific piece of property, a theater in a certain neighborhood that he's trying to revitalize. So if I were writing a for-profit grant for that, then I would talk about, I would actually say explicitly, I used to work to tear down the neighborhood. For 32 years, I such and such and blah, blah, blah. But then I turned my life around and decided to build it up. Entrepreneurship was the strategy for me. And that's why I start businesses. Right now, I have an ice cream parlor in the neighborhood that serves the kids and gives them a neighborhood feeling so that a child can be a child in a safe place. Then you want to add something that shows that your business is different from everybody else's. So you don't just end it with being an ice cream shop. You say, as an ice cream shop, We have after school programs and mentors. We host the Boys and Girls Club. We do back to school drives. We give discounts if they make good grades in school. We partnered with the local American Red Cross and do blood drives. You get what I'm saying? Like your business has to be better than somebody else's business, not because you make more money, but because you're more connected. All right. And what I encourage people in my class, how to use AI for grant writing, I tell people to dump it all in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to come up with a paragraph for you. So when you write, you want to get all your thoughts out, and then you copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, can you turn this into one paragraph that would be attractive to a grant reader? All right, Mark, do you have our for-profit list?
Yes, sir. Just 1 second.
Okay. All right. Somebody give me your, let me use somebody as a volunteer. I want you to tell
Grandparent
me your
assist.
for-profit company, Grandparent Assist. All right. So for your for-profit
So you
company,
say for profit, okay.
for-profit, and then we'll do beyond the next level. I saw that.
WWC Inc.
Yeah, that's all in one drug testing service.
Tell me the name of your thing, your blood test DNA service. What's the name of it?
Yes, all in one drug testing services.
All right. So all-in-one drug testing services, they do DNA tests, you're the daddy tests, and a parent, Lord, that's not what it's called. Paternity tests. I didn't say you the daddy test.
Drug test and paternity testing. And if you think you were being poisoned, we test for that as well.
Okay. Them bad kids, I poisoned you. You keep
No,
going. They're
that's
gonna be
that
testing for
significant
roots and
other
everything.
poison in their spouse. They spouse, so significant.
All right, all right. So for all-in-one blood testing services, I would say, one of the questions in a for-profit grant will look like, tell us about your company or why you started your company. I started my company because there were, or some statistic, 65% of children did not know in this neighborhood did not know who their father was. So I started this company in order to do paternity tests so that people could know who their fathers are. Then we expanded to drug testing to support people in courts. And we don't only provide the drug testing, but we provide people with referrals to the supports they need just in case they fail the drug test. We partner with the local United Way, the treatment courts, the public defenders, etc., so that people will be able to have the resources they need. Our company is not just in business to make money. We're in business to make a difference. So we host after school programs, back to school programs, family sessions. We do a giveaway each year. We're connected to the city and blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying? So we just pour it out. And if you feel like it's too long, then you just ask ChatGPT to shorten it for you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Doc.
All right. So what I want you all to do, and this is only for you all that are here because I kind of feel bad. I have to leave, and I do have to leave right now. Here's the list of for-profit grants. I normally sell this to people. You can get it, grab it, download it, and find one grant. You can apply it. You can have it and ask questions about it next week. Some of them have expired. What we do, we research all year long. The grant that was available last year is getting ready to come back up this year. All right. When you are writing a for-profit grant, you want to say how your program, how your business is unique. You also want to highlight how you are different than any other business owner. I mean, this is where you might have to share some of your vulnerability. So my last volunteer Beyond the next level, we want to use your business, your for-profit business as an example. All right. Brandy, you can come off mute and tell me what your for-profit business is.
Yes, sir. Hello, Coach Hatchett and everyone in the room. How y'all doing today?
Hey.
My business is Beyond the Next Level is a bookkeeping and accounting services.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
reason why I wanted to which specialize in helping nonprofits, for-profits, small businesses, large business, and individuals help create their financial story. And the reason why I
Okay.
decided to open up Beyond the Next Level was because when I worked in corporate America and I worked for Ernst & Young, I saw the billing, right? We would charge these people arm and a leg and sometimes their firstborn for us to come in and do services. And I just started having a heart to just help people because I knew that I could help them do what they need to do based on my experience, because I have experience in auditing, taxes, and bookkeeping and accounting. And so because I have experience in that, I felt like I can be an asset to them to grow their business. And so I've been having my own business over 10 years now. I've been working in accounting over 20 years. And so I take everything that God has blessed me to learn and I apply it to the people that I help.
All right. All right. So I would actually, now this is not a phrase. I'm good for making up phrases. I'm a wordy person. And so if I were you, I would coin the phrase predatory billing. Predatory.
Okay.
And I would address it as an equity issue, equity in accounting. Because Black people and brown people are victims of predatory billing. They are billed inappropriately high because they don't know any better.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
My business, Beyond the Next Level, is more than an accounting firm. We address equity in accounting we address equity. We work on equity in accounting by addressing predatory billing. We provide bookkeeping services to small Black and brown owned businesses that have already overcome challenges to start their business. We ensure that their books are in order, that their story is clearly told financially so they can stay in business and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would say it. I'd actually write it that way too.
Okay, I was write it that way. I will get the recording and jot it down.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And so the services that you provide, of course, your services, and this kind of gets into, business coaching. That's not what I'm doing right now. But the service you provide, of course, is the bookkeeping, and people pay you, whatever your monthly thing is, your hourly thing. But also you could write an ebook called Equity in Accounting or Predatory Billing. You get what I'm saying? And address this
I get
stuff
what you're saying.
that has plagued people. Now, especially because tax season is here, there are businesses that are doing more business because they're selling to people that are making money, and those businesses are getting ready for their tax year. So
That's true.
they don't only need your service, they need your information. When I teach business, I teach it based on a concept that I call the business prism. You have a product, you have a related product, you have an information product, a service product, and a maintenance product. So you don't only sell the product, you sell the information. So there are people that, like, when they ask me to explain to them stuff about grants, I'm giving them information. But for the people that sign up for Power Pages, I'm actually giving them a product. Like, they're going to get 12 grants, 4 newsletters, 20 contacts. Like, you get what I'm saying? And we're working upwards of hundreds of $1,000s in grants. We're actually doing that as a product. And then the maintenance and the service, et cetera. So when you think about your business and you're writing a for-profit grant, you have to describe how your business is beyond everybody else's. So the explanation that I gave you about how I would write it, definitely write it that way. But when they ask you, what do? Do not only say bookkeeping. You can also say, you bullet it out or whatever. I provide bookkeeping. I teach classes on predatory billing. I'm the author of a book called Equity in Accounting. and we become the bridge for low to moderate income people who are starting their businesses and want to stay in business. Do you get what I'm saying? You see how it's going?
Yes, sir. That makes total sense because I've been praying about an ebook, but I did not want to be just the norm. I want to go above, again, beyond the next level. I want to kind of bring them up and walk with them to the next level. So you gave me some great ideas. I appreciate that.
All right. Sounds good. Well, success loves speed. Y'all do not sit on any of this information. Do not wait on any of it. Find some piece of it that you can use and apply right now. Okay. You all have the link to my list of for-profit grants. That's my gift to you all today. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me as I go through the boring stuff. But I
That in the
promise,
chat, Doc?
boring
It was
stuff.
all jewels being dropped, Coach Patrick.
Boring. I'm telling you, this stuff will make you a lot of money. When you understand this, you put yourself heads and shoulders above everybody else. You don't come across as a hustler. You know what I mean? There are people out there trying to hustle the system. You're not doing that. We're talking about how you can document your stuff in such a way that you make the rest of the world believe in you and recognize. Like they have to learn to respect what you do. And a lot of times, though, and this is not always a racial thing, but this thing I'm about to say is racial. White people, we give them the excuse not to respect us because we don't know how to talk and we don't know how to write. All right. They are allowed to overlook and disrespect what we do because we don't know how to talk about it and don't know how to write about it. But if we ever learned how to use their language to describe our stuff, it's over. If we can ever figure out how to describe our stuff so that it meets their standards, it's over. When you think historically about all the Black people in America that did so much more with so much less, they had the odds stacked against them, but they learned the system.
Yeah.
And then they changed it. Now we can kick and scream all day long about racism, especially, going into Black History Month. And after that, we've got Women's History Month. We can kick and scream about all the disparities and inequities. But at some point, you have to learn the system. Learn the system so you can beat the system.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give up your Blackness. You don't have to give up your womanness. You don't have to give up your manhood. You don't have to do that. But it is important that we learn the language. I call it learn the language of Babylon. And in the Bible, y'all know Daniel. Daniel was in Babylon, and as a slave, he outranked all the princes, all the presidents, and outlasted 5 kings. And the Bible says that he was preferred above everybody because the excellent spirit was in him. He was built to excel. He was built to excel. He was better and stronger, mentally stronger than everybody else. And it was a system that he learned. He didn't grow up in it. He learned it. So I know that you all can learn this, and I'm glad to be part of your journey. All right.
Thank you, Bishop. But that was a prophecy right there. You said he was built to excel. So through you, we are built to excel through the knowledge that you're passing on to us. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank
We're gonna
you.
get it
Thank
done.
you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Y'all take
Yes.
care.
And we praying for your healing. Good news from the doctor's office, Dr. Cody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
I'm on my
God
way.
bless.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Have a blessed one, everybody.
You as well.
You
Thank you.
too.